So, on the last day of All Things Core Stability series, I want to really kind of give you guys the gist of how would it be for you guys to work on your core stability. So, in a nutshell, we're looking at three different stages or phases. The first one is cognitive, the second one is associative, and the third one is automatic. And usually, the way I take my clients, my golfers, my paddlers, and tennis players is in a 3, 4, and 5 week period. So we spend 3 weeks in cognitive, where we not only establish a baseline, but we also get everything that needs to be restored. And then 4 weeks is associated type of exercise, so we can get not only the subconscious but also your muscular connection, neuromuscular connection working together. And of course, the last phase is where it just becomes automatic for your pelvic floor, for your diaphragmatic breathing, and all the muscles that are part of the core stability process to be engaged, as much as I hate saying that word. So the first thing that you need to know is establish a baseline. You need to see where is your baseline, and we do that by using a core stability assessment, simple as the bird dog, or like I mentioned a few days ago, the hollow hold on exercise. Now, the easiest way to know where on these phases that I just mentioned you fall into, what would be a good starting point for you, is knowing a reverse engineering process. So, for instance, if you're a golfer, if you tend to play mostly golf from May on, then you want to kind of start your calendar, right? So look at May, let's say Memorial Day weekend. You want to probably perhaps start training more specifically in February. So that gives you about 12-week window to kind of start working on that. Now, the first thing that you do, whichever, regardless of which of the phases you start at, is feel and listen to your body. And by that, I mean feel how your body respond to the external forces, either the weight, the bands, the kettlebell, whatever that is, and also listen if it's getting too used to it to the point that it's not challenging. Remember, your core stability meant muscles are meant to not only control your pelvic floor, but also able to quote unquote absorb movement or external forces. Okay. Now, once you figure that out, the next step for you to do is actually write down, literally on piece of paper, pencil and paper, write down the patterns that you notice when it comes to your core. Do you feel more tightness on your hip flexors? Do you feel more soreness on your low back, your ribs, along your oblique muscles, more sore when you work your oblique muscles, and just sort of things. But just look for patterns so you can refer back to those. And lastly, the one thing that I want you to look out for, and I know I'm myself guilty of this, is do not fall for shiny objects. So once you are on the training mode, working on your core stability, make sure you don't fall for shiny objects on infomercials or on Instagram, cool new exercise tools or gadgets or electrical things to fast track your process, because that will derail you from your real process. So now that you know what to do with your core stability, not only the muscles, but how to work them through and which muscles to do, you just saw a handful of exercise that you can implement tomorrow if you want to. Now, speaking of tomorrow I'm going to unveil a nice, cool little program that I would love you to be a part of. So if you're interested in actually being ready to go for the summertime, stay tuned because I'll have an awesome program and news to share with you. Until then, be well and stay strong.